welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love once again. Welcome back to Reflections with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I'm trying to change a little direction, maybe re-identify. I don't know. I'm having some fun. Saturday, sincerely, greetings, friends, to all of you who've already stopped through, popped in and said hello. And yes, even here, right? All are welcome. All drunks are welcome. Keep coming back. If it works, if you work it. And some of these ideas, man, I hope to share some positivity. I really do. Happy Saturday, fellow Talcottians and others. Happy Saturday to you. Much love for all of us. Bear Jew gets it. I've landed with that acronym for myself. That's so true. It really is. The ego edges God out. But today, let's celebrate. Let's join together and invite God in. Let's invite God into our thoughts as we consider and as we share. And I've got the link ready. I'll drop it down in a few minutes. But let's get started with the start. The thumbnail. Bringing peace to the world, and the topic today of this live stream, clear intentions, overcoming confusion. Those two go together, right? I hope to establish my intentions pretty clearly. My hope and goal is to bring peace to the world. And what I found in considering these ideas, it's clear and simple. It's the process of cause and effect. They are the same. A peaceful world is found through clear intentions. And clear intentions, when you're clear about your intentions and you're honest and forthright with others about your intentions, a more peaceful world can easily emerge. It happens. The path and destination are united together. Think about that. The path and destination are united. So the way brings joy. The way of love brings joy. That's the way to pursue the path, any path. And that way, when you reach your destination, man, you got memories of love, because love is the answer. In the background today, I used the peace one. Peace is where love is truly known. These ideas of, some of the ideas of today are coming from some of the ideas and comments from yesterday. Knowledge within me, I just build upon. It's how knowledge works. We're all just memories who are growing in our imagination based upon the foundation of our memories. What we've learned. It's divinely created, this experience of life where death is simulated. People talk about the world and being a simulation, but I don't know about that. It could be true, but I think death actually is just the simulation. It appears that we die, yet we continue on. Because consciousness is who you are. Consciousness is who I am, what I am. And we live in this infinite realm of energy and information, bringing forth unlimited possibilities. So in this realm of information and energy, in the world we live in, it's clouded by noise, distraction, and confusion. We live in a real chaotic world. People are challenging. We'll just be polite for right now. But I'll drop the link later and you'll see what I'm talking about. People are challenging, and we live in a world that's clouded by noise, distraction, and confusion. But peace is found through clarity. Peace is with clarity, clarity of mind, clarity of heart, clarity of purpose and words, right? When we become clear, then there's less confusion within and without. So let's clear the fogs inside and out. The way to clear the fog is to choose for yourself a purpose. Live with your purpose and speak with your truth. Be willing to be accountable for what you say, right? Be responsible for who you are. And to do that means we've got to be willing to be humble. But sorry, I got a whole bunch of notes and they're just all over the place, but no longer the same old notepad. It's different these days. Praise God. So yesterday I mentioned some of the reminders I received, the work my knowledge is built upon, right? Earlier pioneers in the realm of mind and thought in our modern times were Freud and Jung. Carl Jung, his idea of incorporating the shadow, integrating the shadow, confronting the unconscious. There's all, and Jung was also the one, he's credited with being one who identified the collective unconscious as well, that you and I are operating based on memory banks that are greater than just our own. We pick up a lot from the society and the world, the traditions and the environment in which we grew. So confronting the unconscious part of you, that's the part that causes you to react, right? Causes you to feel bad and unpleasant. If you're conscious and you're aware, well, then you don't usually have those feelings of fear and, the unpleasant stuff. So the idea is to confront the unconscious within you. In other words, find what you do not know about you. Reconcile the patterns within you. Reconcile the patterns you're sharing and you're experiencing, because the path to peace, it's completely inside, right? I found this peace in my own paradigm, my own realm, my own life, and it's confirmed, right, by the teachings of people before us. This kingdom of heaven, I can say I've tasted, right, heavenly feelings, heavenly ideas. I live in this realm which is, it's ruled by Christ in my heart. Love is all that matters to me. So, why did I bring that up? Oh, confronting the unconscious. I've mentioned this before, right? Within us, you could take the idea of the ego. The ego is that part of us that learns about itself and protects itself. And it's got this identity of itself, but it's not always the way it seems, right? We've got people playing these characters in the world. And they typically project out their insecurities onto others. This is thoughts from Jung. The dude was spot on, man. And you know what? I credit that woman in my life too. Man, she yelled at me because I wasn't looking into Carl Jung for the first place I looked. Sorry, I'm drifting off in memories. You know what? Let me open it up and we'll see what the day brings. I'm feeling great. It is Saturday. I thought about dropping the title back to the old energy of openish panel. for the weekend, and allow and entertain a bit of chaos. But I'd really like to avoid the chaos. I'd really like to continue, improving the value and the order in the conversations. And I feel this week, for those of you who've been around a while, or if you're new, maybe you don't know, but I feel like over the last week there's been some improvement. Um, More healthy conversations have been shared, at least in my mind. But what was this? Does our energy keep thoughts without a human brain? Is there clarity without thoughts? That's an interesting one. This one I don't know, because what I'm suggesting is that, like others have suggested, our bodies and minds are these, well, they're mechanisms. We're biological computing systems and energy systems. We're it's part of the dynamic process that others can explain far better than me regarding the rules of entropy and the laws of energy. My understanding is that what our bodies are and our minds, we tune in. Your mind is a receiver. The energetic qualities of your current state of being, the chemical reactions and the electromagnetism, the properties of your physical being it's going to change the ideas and the thought patterns that your brain is going to tune into. And I don't claim to have a complete understanding of all of this, but the idea is to raise your vibrations into higher vibrations, love, right? Love and unity tied to compassion. Those are like the strongest, highest vibrations. They're way above shame and fear and jealousy and all that crap. So the idea is, and if you think about these ideas, it makes sense that our energy, the state and quality of the moment that I am, that's gonna determine the level of thoughts I'm gonna be thinking. And so it's real important to pay attention. What is your energy? What is your state? What are your intentions? Because see, the subconscious intentions, that's where the shadow is, right? In the parts we're not aware of, the parts of us we're not aware of, the parts of us we want to ignore, the parts we want to hide. Those shadows come out and they're ugly, man. They will literally they'll cloud your mind. So this other one, is there clarity without thoughts? Yes. With knowing. When you know, there's no thinking, right? And in my mind, God is the knower. God is the knowing knower who offers forth that which may be known. The information field of energy that you and I are a part of. So God is the knower. And so if you want to know the peace beyond understanding, because right in the process of trying to understand or figure it out, we're in this process of thought. It's that thinking part, and we're still not quite settled. But you want that peace that's beyond understanding? It's in the knowing. And this is where I feel it's true, is that's an interesting question. Do feelings exist if we become nothing but pure energy? I don't know. But I do know that feelings can overcome your awareness. You can out of the world, man, through pain or pleasure. It's happened to all of us. And so I actually think when you unite with the energetic qualities of unconditional love without limits, then you achieve this. I've heard other yogis and other spiritual people talk about these nirvana and bliss. And I tell you what, I can logically explain everything in my life, right? There's been no supernatural, there's been just, normal, everyday stuff that's happening with me. I love you guys. But I swear, from my massage, my diet, my patterns of thinking, and I don't exercise as much as I could, but I do, I do light stretches and a little bit of light exercise here and there to keep my body feeling good. But I'm 50 something years old, man, and I feel alive. I feel alive like I've never felt alive before. Even when I came out of basic training, man, when I was most fit, right? I didn't feel alive. I was surviving. But a question if thought continues. That's an interesting idea, because the more I practice meditation and the more I pay attention to the way my mind and ideas come forth, it's actually in the absence of thought that the answers arise. Okay, so I've heard this through other coaches as well. So for those who hadn't heard it, it's a great idea. And it's in line with the scripture too, and the idea of God. You got a problem or a dilemma in your life, consider the solution. Okay, you may not know the solution, but know the solution exists. And then recognize in your heart that the solution is your desire. You desire the solution, not the problem, and then give it to God. Give it away. Give it to your highest mind to take care of, and then go about your day. And as you're doing dishes or driving down the road, or something in the day may inspire, and click, there it goes. I've experienced that many times in my past, of letting it go so I don't have to think for the answer. I hope that makes sense. We've got a couple of guests here, and my heart is pulling me sincerely. I love engaging with the chats as well. What is knowing? Being. Through being, we find knowing, and that knowing is found in awareness. And the awareness is tied to the consciousness. So the consciousness of being invites the knowing, because through awareness and consciousness, we gain sense certainty, right? We know of our experience. It's a gift through the process of awareness and consciousness. That would be my guess on try to answer that. Welcome, Illumitami. You've been patient, my friend.
I wouldn't say that. Hello, Jack. Any progress on the Facebook?
No, sir.
Any progress on DC stuff?
I know my attention went elsewhere between yesterday and today.
What do you do? What do you do every day when you're not sitting here acting like it's the first time you smoked weed?
I actually do spend a lot of time in meditative thoughts and prayers.
So complacency.
You could say that. I also spend time learning, and you might call that entertaining.
I don't think you spend time.
I do. Videos are a process of learning. It's a very easy way.
You never really display any usable, applicable knowledge. You just sit here and loop-de-loop. And you try and reword things like show evidence of love.
Okay.
Be present for theirness.
Okay. That's an interesting story. Let's welcome back Black Jesus. Steven, how you doing today, brother?
Yo, yo. I, I good, Jack. I be turning
No, no,
watermelon
no, no,
into
no,
wine.
no,
Hello.
no, no,
Who
no.
that
What?
Jesus be? Who that Jesus be?
Yo,
Change it up.
word,
We're not going to play these comical
Jack.
stereotypes.
You said you want fun conversations.
Right, with adults. Adults who
Where did Black
care.
Jesus go? Surprise from the
I put him to the back.
Why?
Because I have greater hopes for Steven.
All right, take it away then.
You know, as I'm reflecting on the moment, here's a little pause as I speak to the camera, right? I just witnessed myself being blamed for what I did again, right? There was choices for what I did, and honestly, I'm hoping to raise the standards, right? Hoping to have healthier boundaries between me and the guests who show up. And Steven, you have a lot of knowledge. We could get into the knowledge, but the other stuff, man, you know I don't appreciate it.
Is this real life, Jack? This is a mystery guest. This is not Steven. This is a mystery guest. We're starting fresh here.
All right.
Forget that there was some character here earlier with a
Yes.
watermelon, whatever
We're
that
starting
was.
over. Thank you.
We're starting over. This is a reset.
Yes.
This is a reset.
Have I met mystery guests before, or is this brand new?
Brand new. This is
All
brand
right.
new, from starting from scratch.
Piece of cake. God bless. Welcome, brother. It's a pleasure
Peace
to
be with you.
have
Hello,
you
brother.
again.
How are you doing today, brother? Brother Jack, live without fear. I see you have a slogan above you and below your name.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing those, because those two slogans are really why I'm here. Thank you. Who I am, and the topic today is clear intentions, overcoming confusion. There's been a lot of confusion about me and what I'm doing here, and wondering what is real. So I'm hoping to address some of the confusion and truly reinforce that I feel I am here for the purpose of bringing peace to the world.
I feel that. I feel that. I feel that that is sincere, and it's actually a good goal to have. It's achievable. It's never happened, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. And that's a sticking point. I would say that's probably a sticking point with many in this world. They think if it hasn't been done, that it can't be. And that's a roadblock. It's a stumbling block that they have to get over. It doesn't mean that it can't be done.
Right. You actually, not to put you in the back of the conversation again, but you actually kind of reminded me with that comment. It's never been done before. I don't know if you've heard my recent video I shared. I uploaded this a couple of days ago.
Yes, I did. I did, and I paid attention to your message, and it's in there that it's never been done before, but that doesn't mean that it can't be done.
That's right. Thank you. Here, it hasn't had a ton of views, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it real quick. It's just a couple of minutes anyway. So here we go. Greetings and blessings. Hello, my name is Jack Talcott, and I've got a few prepared words to share with us today. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, a former postal worker and union advocate, a dedicated student of life, and now I'm a man on a mission for peace. I recently left my home in Spokane, Washington, and drove across the country to Washington, D.C., not for politics, but for purpose. I believe we are living in a time when real change is possible, but only if we, the people, decide to demand it. For far too long, our world has been led by secrets and lies. Wars are funded in our names, often without honest debate. People are suffering not just from bullets and bombs, but from wage slavery, broken systems, poverty, greed, and spiritual despair. But I believe in something better. I believe the time has come for truth to become our policy and for love to become our strategy. We don't need violence to create peace. We need courage. We need voices, especially from those inside the military, inside the government, inside law enforcement, media, and labor unions, to stand up and say, enough. We can do better. If you're watching this and you're in a position of authority, influence, or service, I'm not here to attack. I'm here to invite you to listen, to think, and to consider being part of a better future. Ending legal secrets could be the first step to ending wars. If we want peace, we must start by telling the truth, openly, courageously, and together. I don't have titles, but I do have faith. I believe God brought me here, and I believe people like you are the ones who can help carry this message forward. Please share this video, especially with those in positions of power, those who work inside the systems, and those who might still believe change is impossible, because it's not impossible. It just hasn't been done yet. Live without fear, love without limits, and lead with the truth. I'm Jack Talcott. Thank you for listening. Let's make peace possible together. Oops, what did I do? There we go.
Okay. I did share the video, actually.
Thank
You
you.
asked people to share it, and I
Thank
did
you.
share it, and you're welcome. I did pay attention to the message. There's a lot of, I
noticed.
believe, and belief is really something people got to start doing, believing that things can be better instead of accepting the status quo of shit, basically, because things could be much better. We don't have to tolerate shit.
Accepting that and grasping onto that, the idea of better, it's hard to do for some. It was challenging for me to believe that better was available in many ways, but now I'm convinced it's the only way. And I played that sped up, so maybe that's why I was fast.
I thought something was different. Yeah, it was sped up voice. I was like, that sounds different now than when I played it earlier or yesterday.
Yeah, in my own opinion, listening to my normal cadence, I speak so slowly, it drives me nuts. I listen to myself at 2 speed, when I do.
Yeah, what's up,
I
Jack?
play Hank at 2 speed.
I'm insufferable.
Hey, welcome, Cage. How are you today?
I suck.
Is that Trump? Is that the real Donald Trump?
Holy cows, man. Praise God. You listen at quarter speed. Polly Boy used to do that to people, and it frustrated me, man. He played my stuff to his audience early, but he played it at such a low speed that it was clearly out of mockery. But if he played it at normal speed, I still think there's some helpful ideas in the things I've been sharing. I really do. Oh, gee, don't let Jack fool you. He listens to his lives while he sleeps. No, I do listen. I do. That was actually one of my thoughts for today, right? A question for each of us to consider. Do you reflect on the results of anything, right? Whatever you're doing, do you reflect on the results to discern opportunities for improvement? I don't think a lot of people do, because I don't think they have clear intentions a lot of times in the things they're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
People
I think
without
there's a lot in this realm. I hope people in this realm try to work on their awareness. If they work on being self-aware, it will help them a lot understand what's going on and to be able to listen to someone else's message. But I honestly think an issue is a lot of people just aren't aware. They're just kind of in a trance every day, and they're just going through the motions. They go to work, they go to their 9 to 5, and I don't want to put them down by saying this, but
no.
they're kind of like in a trance, almost like robots. And if they
Yeah.
would just pay attention and say, you know what, I got to snap out of this. There's more than just going to work, coming home, having dinner. Maybe they have a couple drinks, or they watch television or whatever they do, and then they go to sleep, and they're just in this pattern. It's a pattern of being a wage slave in a trance, in a sense, and they don't know what living is.
That's exactly what it is. And actually, Carpenter's Journey is kind of putting it out true, honestly, too. I have to put myself into a trance in order to coexist with the people I work with. That is part of it, man. This insanity we live in, it's fucking contagious. And I used to live that life. That's what I'm pointing at. This fog. People are living in a fog, and they're going through the motions of life, telling themselves how great they are surviving, right? And we're missing the point. The self-awareness, that truly is the key. And as a death coach or a self-development coach, that's what I'm going to help people with. Recognizing the greater you that's hidden behind the beliefs of you. Because these beliefs, the belief, I have to do this job, I have to do this, I have to do that. You're taking your mind out of the picture and you're giving away your control. So God's like, all right, you don't want your mind, you don't want control? Pay attention. You'll see what happens. God is so amazing.
Yeah, that's true. There's some in the chat. OG Abbott said, I don't know if it's a woman, but said, I'm in a trance right now. This is awfully boring. Get out and enjoy life instead of talking about it. But, you could have been more positive, OG. If
Right.
you're positive, you'll feel better about your day. You won't feel bored. You'll enjoy whatever in the moment, in the present moment. Like I'm enjoying just sitting here beside Jack, hearing his thoughts. I'm not bored, so I don't know why she's here bored. I don't understand. I don't understand that.
That's exactly right. And this is what I found is kind of in line. It's in line and supportive with what Carl Jung talks about as well. But we project, we reveal through our words and advice. We reveal what we need to hear. So OG Abbott, that's probably something for you. Truly, if this is boring, go do something you love. Get out and enjoy life.
Exactly, and be positive.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're positive, what's her name, Casey, and there's some certain people that come here, regardless if they're not. No one's always right or wrong, but she's got a real positive attitude and mentality, which I do respect. She's positive every day. She comes in, she's never negative. I don't think I've ever seen her come in with a real negative, nasty attitude. And some people, you could look to them as role models and say, you know what? I aspire to be that positive. Maybe I'm not today, but I'm going to try to be better and enjoy my day and not just say, oh, this is boring or this is that. And it's just this negative attitude. It's not good. Let's try to all be positive. Uplift each other.
Yes. That is the key. It's the world we want, right? We all want a world that's more uplifting, that's more trusting, that's more giving. Well, hello, you are the key for that which you want. Is what I realized. And something I consider too. It's good to admire others. It's good to have people that you look at and you say, wow, I'd like to be more like that. That's kind of what I think the example of Jesus was intended for, but people put him on a pedestal as though that's unreachable and then started making excuses for each other. But I didn't realize here, these things went together. The reason I'm bringing this up, right? Because when I lived in my fog, I learned what I had to learn. I learned what was job related. I learned that what was budget related. I learned what was necessary for me to be what I was doing, right? Well, I didn't have a lot of role models, but in hindsight, the ones I did led my education. That's actually, I've mentioned before, our friend here for the laughs, Charles. He was a guy I admired, and he was wonderful at introducing me to labor history. And through the example of him and some of the other role models I met in the union, I started really digging into labor history. Go ahead, please.
Oh, is that Chuckles, the guy you call Chuckles? That
Yep.
guy, I think he has some issues because he challenged me to a fight. He doesn't even know me. He just said, "I would fight you," and I'm like, "Dude, I would destroy you. You don't have any idea." I mean, he's just clueless, but he's kind of a negative guy. He just
Mhm.
comes around to laugh at Jack. I don't think he's here to listen and learn.
Stephen, yes. Pay attention and watch, and you'll see it. You're describing the patterns I've seen, but it ties together too to these other ideas. The insecure and the hubris, right? Too big or too small in our personalities, and we miss the mark. And what I noticed is in my past, my focus on all the problems, all the negativity, all the complaints. Number one, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good being so negative minded. But more importantly, it kept me from focusing on those who I did admire, those who I care about, those who I love. So for those of you who, there you go. Here's a thought. For those of you who tune in to hate, go find the people you love. Fucking selfish prick. Give them some attention.
Yes. Yes, and you'll feel better
Yeah,
than coming here
exactly.
and spewing anger and hatred for 2 hours. Where does that get you? I mean, it's so much better to wake up in the morning or whatever time you wake up and go, "I'm gonna enjoy the day today. I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna listen to someone. I'm gonna tune into a show with an open mind. I'm gonna try to pay attention and learn." It's so much better, man. It feels so much better than to go somewhere with the attitude of just attacking everybody in the chat room or throwing tomatoes at the host of a show. That's just immature. It's dumb. I mean, I don't know why people stay in that for months or years, but Ian from We Are Awake TV
Yeah,
channel, he
yeah,
says we live in the present moment, like get in the present moment. And
yeah,
I think that actually makes sense. Because when
yes,
you're in the present moment, you're not thinking about, oh, yesterday sucked, or I had a bad day, or I have a flat tire yesterday, or this broke down, and you don't get bogged down by all this shit. You're just kind of like, you know what? I feel good this moment. I'm
yes,
enjoying this present moment. It's
yes.
sun. It might be sunny. It might be a thunderstorm. Yes, the other day it was a thunderstorm.
Mhm.
Enjoy it, whatever it is, whatever God brings. We can enjoy the present moment, man. It's happening now. We don't have to get bogged down by all this petty shit. It feels so much better to just be in the present moment and be positive and enjoy the little things that we have. A laugh, a smile. You make somebody smile and it's fantastic.
That's the simplicity of life that God has given us. The whole purpose is to be present, to pay attention, you know, be trusting, be faithful with God. That was something else. I don't remember who I listened to earlier. I did. I spent a little bit of time on Tommy asked what I was doing. I spent a little bit of time watching some videos. I found a couple of interesting documentaries on ants and bees. I mean, the things that people have learned, the things that have been studied, and the knowledge that's available for us to find. Not every bit of knowledge is helpful. I mean, for me, studying bees and ants, well, I did learn some things, right? Regarding cooperation and community. Um,
Yes. They do cooperate in a major way. If you look at the way they behave, it is interesting how they work together. for a greater purpose. If we could learn from that, we could change things.
I have thoughts on that. I don't know if I can get them across clearly, but it ties a few of my theories together, right? Because I started down this earlier. Within us is the ego, edging God out. It's our belief in ourself that is this, it's me, I am, right? It's the identity. And the identity thinks it's separate from the rest of the experience, but there's no separation. Crap, I took us off from where you were. What was it you said, Stephen? Do you remember?
Well, I was talking about being positive, enjoying the day, all that sort of thing, not getting bogged down, living in the present moment, all that sort of stuff. And
Well, I was trying to go into I was bringing up the distinction between the ego.
cooperation with the ants and the bees as well.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you. The greater collective, the way they work together. My assumption is, and I could be wrong, they work together with honesty. And so humans, we've got these individual identities, the ego, and it's our self-protection mechanisms, right? We've got this design within us to keep us alive. And so when not understood, though, the protection mechanisms take over the life, and we build these illusions of comfort and safety, and we dig in and we don't really change or grow. So the limiting part of us is the identity of us. To get to the point, I've mentioned before that I consider the laws, right? Man's laws, the government and corporate structures, those are the externalization of the ego. They are controlling, manipulative, selfish. They are in it to protect themselves, right? Every corporation, once it's created, men and women will often be willing to die for the entity.
Yeah. For a little reward of maybe a few pizzas or something, the corporation will put out and go, hey, good work, slaves. We'll give you these 4 pizzas or something. But do you think that God designed us to work together, not necessarily as ants, but maybe a similar way where people are kind of failing, where we're all fighting and battling and competing with each other instead of working together?
Amen. I believe, yes, we've got gifts of telepathy, intuition. We've got these gifts of our senses that allow us to communicate and to connect, not just with each other, but past, future, far away. I envision, what came to mind too is the way birds will fly, the way schools of fish will flow, right? They're unified and they're connected and they move smoothly. Mankind can grow into that as well. The key is to individually overcome the self-identity, and then collectively we can overcome the government and the corporate identity, and we can move into the spirit of living, right? The spirit of life. We work with the spirit of the law instead of focusing on the letter of the law and prosecuting the violators of the rules.
And trying to get put in jail like Paulie all the time. He's always talking about, oh, I want to get put back in a cage again. I like what you said, Jack, about schools of fish and birds. If you ever examine starlings and the way they fly, they just it's fascinating, and it's just remarkable how they can swoop and they all change direction, like not even in half a second. They seem to be tied in like in a collective consciousness, or maybe a Rupert Sheldrake sort of thing, where they just all know they're on the same wave, and it's like a wave flowing in the sky. It's actually mesmerizing to watch some of these videos of huge flocks of starlings and the way they change direction. It looks like waves in the sky.
It's magical. Mother Earth and the intelligence that's in nature, it's undeniable. It's beautiful. It's powerful. It's smart. Welcome back, Cage. How you doing?
I still suck.
Sometimes I think that maybe birds and schools of fish have more intelligence than a lot of these characters that come around. They just seem to have a different kind of intelligence.
They haven't received the false conditioning. That's why mankind is confused, because they've conditioned themselves to think they know things. It's fucking hilarious. Hey, welcome, Lou Bass. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Jack, how
Louie.
you doing?
Hey, Louie. Do you
Can
think
you
that
hear me
God
okay,
laughs
Jack?
at some of these?
Jack,
Jack,
can
do
you hear
you
me
think
okay,
that
Jack?
you're roboting a
Hey,
bit
Jack,
on my? I can.
I just wanted to say that you're going to be the most amazing savior. Once you get to Trump, I think you're going to get it done, Jack.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's wise to hold people like King Stephen at your side, because I think it might derail, like, the poor guy's in a mental institution. He forgets to take his meds often.
Hey,
And it
Lou.
might be
Untrue.
smart to just kind of keep him a little further back.
Well, Lou.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Right. I know.
Listen, I
He
just
came
wanted to
on
say
here
one
just to
thing.
do
You
that.
guys are talking about nature.
Lou,
You're
you're
not.
just
Came
not
on to
offering
talk about
anything
nature because
valuable. It would
I'm
be
gonna
cool
I'm
if you
gonna
came
roll
on.
with I'm gonna roll with your view. Lou, your audio sucks and you're coming in long jokes, I guess. Um, brother, you're missing out, man.
He is missing out. That's actually the thing. He doesn't anger me. I wish he would pay attention. Rather than he had it in his head in the chat. I'm gonna go on there, planned it. I'm gonna go say something about King Stephen. But it doesn't, Lou, actually you tried to derail the show. That's
Yeah.
actually what happened.
Whoa.
I'm here to be in the present moment and the flow. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Stephen, it's a symptom. That's what the ego does. I didn't even catch it, but that is what he was doing. He was accusing you of doing what he was doing, blaming me for you being here. These
And then
people
lying
are
about me, trying to derail,
right.
saying, "Oh, he's in a mental institution. He's
Yep.
this, he's that." Lou, you could have came in offering something. You could have came on here with something of value to offer about the topic, because you kind of threw us off a bit. We were talking about nature, the way it flows, and the intelligence that it has, and the consciousness. And I think that was actually a good topic to get into,
I think
because
it is.
that's part of God's system, right? Or God's design, the natural intelligence. And I think, Jack, you get into that.
Thank you. He's still here. Lou, can we try? You want to start again? We're gonna, please. All right. Praise be, man. This is what's interesting, brothers and sisters. Those who are tuned in, just again, a little observation. You're a witness. The people that join to clown around, and then they won't even share the respect of actually discussing their behavior. Is that not a lack of accountability? Is that not denial?
Be much cooler, Lou, if you had something to offer, because it just shows he doesn't have anything to say other than coming in and clowning. Well, at least today he hasn't shown it. I hope he does.
He's returned. So, Lou?
Sorry, I just as you pulled me up, I was already hitting the button to get out to reset my audio. Is my audio better?
Yes, it is.
Okay, forget about King Stephen, Sire Stephen. Yeah, I like the topic. You're talking about nature and how the birds and they fly in synchronicity, and the bees, how they work together, and I love all those ideas. But sadly for me, because I've been involved in nature from a little child, I've never been apart from nature. Like, I've always been involved with nature. Like, I've never been a city person, even when I lived in the city.
Hmm.
So I would go to the rivers to fish. I
So
would
we
go,
don't we don't
and the
we don't
point
need the life story. What is your point, Lou?
the point is that sometimes people may not realize that nature abhors weakness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is the ultimate in conformity, right? So there is
Mm-hmm.
no individuality
Well,
in
whoa,
the
Lou,
bees. The drones, the
Lou.
males
Hmm.
are do their
Hey,
job and
Lou,
then they're killed, right?
Lou,
And
please stop.
well, it's just a fact. I know you don't like it.
No, Lou, I don't like your rambling on and on and on about irrelevant shit when you're not paying attention to what's going on here. So here, let me use you as an example. One of the questions I wrote down today, something I'm considering, and it came up regarding advice I've received from Tommy and others who are very clear about their disregard for me. What benefit is advice from the uncaring? What benefit is advice from those who don't understand? So, Lou, what I'm suggesting is what I've witnessed and experienced with you is you're a man of excuses and stories. And your excuses and your stories are preventing yourself and others from learning, at least while you're here.
I would say that you're mischaracterizing me.
In which way?
I am a man of 100% truth. I do not fear the truth, even if it comes from the devil himself.
Okay, Lou, thank you for allowing me to interrupt because I don't believe you. So let me ask you a question. How do you know when your words are honest?
Because I'm not afraid to see the truth and accept it for what it is, even when it's horrible.
That doesn't tell me how you know when you're honest.
Most
It just says
people,
you don't care.
oh, well, I do care. That's why I go 100% with the truth. Most people will
How do you
create the
know?
truth.
I'm not asking about most people,
Okay,
Lou. I'm
well,
asking you about you. How do
Lou, you're
you know?
lying right now. You lie
well,
about me
listen,
every day. So that's proof that you
yeah.
don't go by the truth.
Please,
Well,
please
if you're
stop.
Sorry,
afraid,
Jack. Go
if
ahead.
you're
Jump
afraid
off.
of somebody joking with you, Stephen, then maybe you have something to
I'm not
fear.
afraid at all. I have a
If you
question
So,
for
are
Lou. This
actually
is
afraid that some
serious.
guy online is
well,
No,
saying that
not at
you
all.
live in a fucking mental
No, I'm
institution and
no,
you
I'm not afraid. I have a
actually,
question for Lou though. What are you doing here, Lou? Like, why do you come
that's
here? That's what I'd
a
love to know. What his agenda or goal is with this.
actually, Stephen, thank you, because the topic today, clear intentions, overcoming confusion. Lou, I believe you are not clear in what you're doing here. I believe you've misled yourself with your stories, and you're missing out on what's really in front of you. Okay? Because what's really in front of you, regardless of your opinions, I'm here to promote ending wars, right? And you want to keep playing these interruptive games on the devil's side. And you just wanted to say that there's an absence of compassion in nature. Is that what you say? I mean, while I'll agree to some extent, I disagree with the way you said it, that nature just completely destroys weakness. No, there's
well,
tons of
sadly
evidence of
that's
compassion.
no nature is not compassionate in any way, shape, or form, as far
Well,
as I can
Lou,
tell.
Lou, that's you. You're not compassionate. You've
Well, you know
lacked
what?
compassion with me.
Can I restate that again? Now that I thought about it for 1 second, actually, in some ways, I guess it is compassionate because weakness is a detriment to the entire. Like, say, there's a weak link in the beehive, and the bees don't eliminate it, destroy it, kill it. This it risks the life of the entire colony. So that is compassion for all. And being able to sacrifice the individual. Now, I believe humans are different than animals. We have individuality. We have free will, right? So we're able to have the compassion for even the weakest among us. It's not that way in nature. I'm sorry if anybody feels that I'm wrong. It's just not that way.
Luke, can I ask, why are you here today? Like, what is
Yeah,
your
let's
agenda?
get to that.
Why
Let's
did you
get to
come
that.
on?
I actually came up because I was interested in you guys, the topic you guys were talking about, the animals and how their
Mm.
synchronicities and all these things. That's my
Right.
interest. That's what I've
Well,
studied my whole
Lou,
life.
right, Lou, but you're not giving any consideration to what I'm saying. Matter of fact, when I spoke, you
Well,
want to just
well,
bring up other stories. And Lou, your behavior, when you tell you what, you lack awareness of what's going on. And I'm tired of arguing with you.
okay,
You've been
what have
so
I gotten
unwilling,
wrong?
your attitude and your behavior to start with. Okay. Lou, I love you. You're in my life for a reason. And so far, you've been a test. Okay. You haven't been a blessing to me, Lou. Matter of fact, you've enabled people like Paulie and others against me, which hasn't really brought me a lot of joy. Okay. So, Lou, the fact that you can't see the value from what's happening here, and you think the story needs to go to your narrative, right? Well, nature is cruel. So, Jack, nature's cruel, and this is why it's cruel. And I know that's how you live, Lou.
Hmm.
Look for the other side. Look to find out where you're wrong, Lou, because I don't think you have. Please,
Hmm.
as a friend, I
I think
encourage
I
you.
just did. I think I
Mm,
just did, Jack, by saying that you might be right. There is a compassion in eliminating weakness. I see that now. And you helped me see that.
great, Lou. You
I mean,
find, see,
I
that's
can't.
that's an example, right? You found ways to prove yourself right. So here, let's get off of nature anyway, because what I was trying to point out and what Stephen and I were talking about actually was the intelligence of nature. And praise God, God brought us the stupidity of humanity again. So let's overcome the confusion, right? Let's recognize the intention today is really, my hope is to be positive, to be encouraging, because the world the way that it is not acceptable to me. Lou, I know you're comfortable in your path. You got everything figured out. You're going to charge some people, and you got more space, and you got tenants and all of this property stuff that keeps you satisfied. My values are different, Lou.
Well, I just do that because I found that it's almost kind of, in some ways, a little bit like my calling. Because I've allowed tenants to come in and give them a place that we're not able to get anywhere else. So I feel that I'm not only benefiting myself, but I'm benefiting others. It's a co-creation. It's not. Uh, if you're talking about tenants, it's co-creating. It's not
Whatever you got to tell
capitalizing.
yourself, Lou. You're
It's
making it
not
about yourself
capitalizing.
again.
Thank you.
Well,
I,
you
in
mentioned
defense,
it.
I made it about Lou, but
I mean, if you're going to bring it up, I have to, I have. If you're mischaracterizing it, I have to clear it up, right?
so you think, yeah, you got to do anything you want to do, Lou, but I don't think you know what you want. I think you just make excuses and you do what you feel you want at the moment. Um, Lou, when I first met you, where did I meet you? I met you sitting just like that, hanging out, laying around for hours in the day with Paulie Boy.
Yeah.
I know it looks similar, but see, there's a difference between you and me, Lou. There's a lot of differences between you and me. And the
Of course
fact
there
you
is.
haven't found things to admire or appreciate from me is really, that's kind of a sign of your character, Lou. You you've pretended to be friendly to me, but in the end, it's all the facts are all that matter.
He plays games. He's not sincere.
Reciprocal,
I see
Jack.
Lou as kind of a disagreeable character. He's kind of like a
It's
Chuck
Well,
reciprocal,
or a
Jack.
how do we
JG.
how do we change this? Because Lou's not alone. And Lou is actually a very friendly man. He's a man I do care about and love. And when he's not being a dummy, he's fun and funny. But this is the world we live in. We got a lot of good-hearted people telling themselves they're better than others. And Lou, that's what you've been doing with me since day one, telling yourself you're better than me. That's what a lot of the people from my past used to do to me too. Charles and these other characters. You've seen them.
I am you, Jack.
Yeah.
I am
So
you.
why don't you care to do anything to help me? I
Well,
don't think you do things to
I
help
don't know
you
what I
either.
could do to help you. I mean, how could I help you?
If you thought, if you wanted to, you would think about ways to do so. And then you might come to me and say, hey, Jack, I think this might help you. What if I do this? What if we
I've
do that?
tried that before, Jack, and you've thrown me out on my ass immediately. Come on now.
Lou, you're not being honest. You've not tried my way yet. Not once.
I
Well,
think Jack feels
maybe I'm
disrespected
not
by you,
clear.
Lou.
Maybe I'm not
You
clear on
look,
what your way is.
Lou,
That
you're
could be.
not better than Jack.
I
So
know
you're not
what your
considering.
objectives, I know what your
Mhm.
objectives are. Maybe I'm not clear on what your way to achieve them is. Maybe you could help me enlighten
No,
me.
I don't
I
need
mean,
to.
one of them, I guess, would be to get to speak with some of the leaders to have some influence and be able to change the direction of this horrible fucking shit that they're perpetrating on people like the Palestinians or something. I get that. And
Do you
my
think that
heart suffers over
do
it.
you think that's a good idea to
Absolutely.
try and accomplish? All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Are you,
Oh,
Lou, are you in
enlighten me.
agreement? Lou, are you in agreement with Trump? If I could get in here, do you think that Palestine should be taken over by America, as Trump has said openly that America should just take it over and make it better?
I don't think that's
Well,
really in
I
the
believe.
direction I was trying to go.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
sorry, Jack. Go
then
ahead.
let's stay
You're
out of
asking
that.
him his opinions about others. I mean, well,
Okay.
I'm trying to bring the focus to what
I'm
can we
just
do.
okay. I've just wondered what page Lou was on because he doesn't seem to be on the page as Jack Talcott's mission. He seems to bring a lot of disagreements here. So I was wondering
Not
where
over
Lou's at.
exaggerate.
Do
I
you
did a
think I don't want wars to end? Do you
well.
think that
I'm
I
curious.
don't? Do you think that I
You're
don't want? Uh,
It doesn't seem like it.
well, right.
well,
And Lou,
secrecy. I have to say, secrecy. I don't believe should be eliminated because I believe some things should be kept secret. But
Well,
okay.
why are you
So,
for secrecy?
well,
Well, instead
Stephen,
of saying that, sorry, Jack. Why are you against Jack's mission? I'll
I'm not
put it to
against
that.
Jack's
That's actually
mission.
the point.
I just don't
Why are you
agree
no,
so
with the
Stephen,
idea
disagreeable here?
of ending secrets.
Stephen, you're kind of misreading me and what's going on. I've got the conversation. I don't need you edging me out so you can talk to him. Okay. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but it's not helping. The way you approached it, it clearly gives him an edge so he can disagree.
I
Right?
apologize, Jack. I did misread things. I was just trying to be supportive.
I know. And thank you. Thank you for understanding me, right? Because holy cows, man. Lou, the question, you claim that you're for ending wars.
Of
That's
course,
what you wanted me to believe just now, right?
of course,
So
yes.
are you against me personally then?
No, absolutely
Have you
not.
seen how your behavior, how would you describe our interactions, our relationship over the past several years? Have you been supportive of me and my goals that you say you agree with?
I I don't agree with all your goals. I agree with ending wars. I don't agree with ending secrets. But anyways,
That
I
didn't
believe that
answer
I
my
have been.
question.
So I believe that there's been moments where I've been supportive of you. There's been moments where I've ridiculed you. There's moments where I've even stood against you, and there's moments where I've just loved you. I think
So let me
that's pretty
ask
much
you,
all of it.
in your opinion, in those few moments where you were for me, What helpful has been offered towards the goal that you allege to want? What helpful has been offered to me? Well, my commitment is to end wars. Have you thought of anything like that?
Well, I don't know any other way to achieve something like that than to change myself, because I believe
Very
that
well.
any
Have
change,
you? Mhm.
any
Yeah.
change that is made is generally done by the individual and seen by other
Right.
individuals and
Hmm.
possibly adopted by other individuals and eventually
Hmm.
becomes exponential. It's like the
So
idea that somebody
Lou,
said
right,
a
right, Lou.
patriot is,
Hey, Lou,
yeah, go
please
ahead.
stop. Please
I'll
stop.
stop. I'll
You're
stop.
you're rambling again.
Okay.
Okay. So you claim that. So I asked you if you've offered any help towards the goal of ending wars, and you turned it back to you. You limited your thought to the only way you know how. The only way you know how is to work on you. So you know I am actively pursuing this goal to ending wars. I don't know if you've heard, but I claim to have a pretty developed skill set as far as helping people change themselves. But Lou, once again, you've never accepted. You're one of the people I know for a fact you don't tune into my monologues. You don't tune in to see what can be learned about Jack or from Jack. You're one of those who tunes in to tell the viewers and me about Jack, but you don't learn. You've not taken it on yourself to figure out, what is this guy Jack actually doing? Why does he say these things? Why does he do these things?
I'll just correct you because I have listened to your monologues several times. Obviously, not
Did you
always.
learn?
I can't.
Did you learn
I,
anything?
I don't know if I could say that I've learned
Right.
anything. I
No,
think
you
I get.
haven't, Lou. Lou, this is the thing. You've assumed from the beginning that I'm just like you. And then I don't have anything, you don't learn anything from me because you're too busy battling me, just like you're doing to you. You don't have a healthy relationship with the truth or with love. So, Lou, if you're honest, I'm seeking others who want to join me in the efforts to end wars, to truly help save others. Now, I've been working on me, Lou. So if you're willing to take some advice or some support from a guy like me, I'm sure I could help you change enough so where you believe that you could, so where you knew that you could come up with some ideas to help Jack. It's up
Okay.
to you.
I'm listen, Jack, I'm I'm not the smartest guy on these panels. I'm pretty much a dumbass. So, you're gonna have to guide me through it. Tell me what you want, and if I can do it, I'll do it for you, Jack. I don't know. What
What I
ideas you
want,
want from me? I don't know. How do you end
Lou,
wars? I really don't know.
Lou, don't fool yourself. I'm not looking for your ideas for me. Okay. What I want from you, I want you to actually listen to me as though you can learn something. Because if you try to learn from me, I'll guarantee you will.
You know, I learn from everybody, Jack. I have
Hey Lou,
four
I
children.
don't care. I don't care. You're not, again, Jack offers this. Lou takes a conversation somewhere else, just ignores what Jack
No,
says.
I of course I learn from you. Why wouldn't I learn from you? That would be dumb of me
Lou,
not to learn from you.
right. And this is what I'm trying to help you to see. You've been dumb, dude. You've been
Well,
so dumb with me.
Yes.
It's been
Yes.
frustrating. And
Can I
people are
just
pointing
say
out
one
my,
thing, Jack, please?
yeah, please, please.
Since Lou's been here, everybody can see Lou has made it about Lou. That's what changed since Lou came on. We were having a discussion. You derailed the whole thing, Lou. And you're not aware. You're not self-aware enough to say,
There,
you know what,
please,
Lou, you're
Stephen,
making it about
Stephen,
Lou. Go
Stephen,
ahead.
please.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what I see you doing is taking us back again. Okay.
No,
And
Jack, I'm trying
I,
to
I
get it
agree
back
with
on
your
track.
I agree with your observation, but it's up to Lou. If he wants to start new and he wants to start trying to figure out what he might have missed, we could have a great friendship, and
Yeah.
both of our lives could transform. So, Lou, the only thing I've asked of you is to actually listen to me with an open mind. But if you believe you have, well, keep lying to yourself.
Lion Lou.
Well, actually, no, the future is what matters.
Yes.
So I believe, Lou, it's up to you. I don't really want to waste my time offering my services to an ignorant pig who wants to look down on me.
Oh
So I'm
my
rethinking
God.
it. I'm rethinking it, Lou. When you're ready to actually take me seriously, you have my number. You've reached out to me before. There's nothing has prevented you from asking me questions about the things I say, the things I'm doing. And if you wanted to help me, Lou, you would. This is what God has shown me. Anything is up to us. If you want something, it's up to you. I want peace on earth. I do. I started with me. I fucking attracted a bunch of crazy people, man. I don't know what to
Mm-hmm.
do besides be me.
There's a lot of them in the audience right now, but we can laugh about it. Lou is Lou, and I do hope that he matures. There's an awareness, a self-awareness issue, and if he could get beyond making it about Lou and giving his life stories and stuff, and listen to Jack, then he could get on board with the message. That's the only issue I have with him. He seems to come on to make it about Lou, and
It's
again, I think that Chuck does that. Lou's not the only one. There's a
it's
bunch
what
of
the
them.
it's what the ego does. This
Mhm.
society has conditioned people to be selfish, to be self-centered. And here's what I know. You know, I'm speaking factually because I know who the fuck I am. I am a hell of a good guy. I really am. Someone allows me as a friend, their life is going to change and it's going to improve because that's what I offer as a friend. And I offer support and encouragement and honesty, and I share anything I've got, especially the wisdom, the education. But people haven't wanted me in their lives. Not my son, not my neighbors, not my old friends. I mean, I get people who tune in and they click the link to spend time with me. Um, I'm I feel as though, I mean, when I'm not being challenged and argued against, and when I'm not being insulted and disrespected, um,
Mhm.
I'm one with God. I'm
Mhm.
one with love. I'm in divine pleasure by myself. So, if in fact I am one with God, and if in fact I do understand the teachings of Christ, well, then it confirms my suspicions that God is using me as a messenger, as a voice.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't realize how much my life would transform by inviting God into my life.
Mhm.
That's my mission.
Can I say something here, Jack? I think some of us, myself included, are endeavoring to understand your message on a deep level, on a deep, deep level, not just the surface. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you've learned to love yourself through God. And I don't think some of these characters love themselves. They're on here out of ego through it for attention. And that's
Mhm.
really showing. And if they could get beyond their ego, they could actually tune in, not just tune into the show, but tune into the message and come on and not try to make it all about them and their, little games and ego. And they seem to come up here with an agenda, and it isn't to be supportive or to listen. They're on here to kind of play this game.
Well, It's
But
what,
do you think they love themselves? Do you think maybe
no,
that's part of the problem?
no, it is part of the problem. This is what I suspect is happening. Okay. Our God is so perfect. Our God is so divine. The answers and the problems will be brought together, right? The path and the destination are the same. And in my path, I wanted to become a healer, right? Emotional healing, mental healing. I wanted to help people overcome their own bullshit like I did. And so I also wanted to become a teacher. I got a taste of that as a classroom instructor with the Postal Service. I got a taste of that with as a trainer and leader with the union. So I wanted to become a teacher and a healer. Well, guess what that means? It means I have to learn how. And the best way to learn is to do. And so it makes sense to me that I've attracted a lot of confused people, a lot of people that are a little disconjointed and a little broken on the outside. God is with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, that I agree. Some of them are a little bit broken on the outside or confused. God made an intelligent design, except when it came to YouTube chatters. A lot of them are not very intelligent, but they can improve. Welcome back, Tommy. Good to see you. If you're here.
When he's here, I'm sure he'll jump in. You said something, Stephen. I'm sorry. I lost your thought again. What was it you just
Oh,
said?
I was just saying that, well,
Oh, the
God
chatter.
created,
Yes.
yeah, an intelligent design, except for the YouTube chatters. Yes.
Well, this is another aspect that I consider. YouTube is a perfect vehicle for God to use the confused, right? Because the confused and the bitter, the angry, it's their inner being that's calling out. It's seeking clarity. It's seeking understanding. It's seeking attention. Well, if we don't give attention inside, we're going to seek attention outside. And hello, YouTube. We got a bunch of people who are convinced they're the rising stars. And I'm amongst them. I'm amongst them.
A lot of them don't love themselves, and a lot might be lonely. They might have alcohol or other addictions, other issues, and they're coming here sometimes as therapy or to get attention or act out or whatever. And I think some of them might be lonely characters. Some of them could be incels or, divorced people or something.
Sounds like your audio. Yep, audio's working this time, Tommy.
Good. Steven, I like kicking the balls, Steven, better than ball washer, Steven. Can I get a minute with your host?
I'm not a ball
Jack,
washer ever.
Well,
Sure.
that's all you've been doing, man. That's all you've been doing all show. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's see if you can get through this checklist. Let's see if you can get through this check. Steven, give me a minute. No, I'm trying to talk to Jack, faggot. Now, Jack, let's see if you can tolerate this checklist. Because from what I'm seeing in your behavior and your patterns, so far you spend every day telling us we're all one and you're just like us until you're telling Lou that he's nothing like you. He's not like you at all. Yada, yada, yada. All right. And then you're telling him that he has to help you teach him. You're trying to teach him, but he won't teach himself for you to say you're teaching him.
Right.
And I'm getting to the point where, like, all your contradictions and loops, by the time you bring me up here, it's hard to bring them all back up because it's overall your show. And when you say Lou just sits here and rambles, it's like, do you go back and watch your intros?
I do. Can we discuss your views?
No, because when you said Lou wants to take us off on a thing, that's what you do. You come to every other panel when you say we're all coming for you, but you'll show up every other panel, and then you try and say, hey, can I take us off? Can I take us off in another direction? So project a little harder. You are a narcissist. It's just I had to learn there's other narcissistic traits your daddy doesn't do.
All right. I got tired of that. Thank you, Tommy. I'll take your thoughts under consideration, but that question I asked earlier, your advice to me. You clearly don't care about me. So what advice, what good is your advice? And your narratives aren't actually accurate. And this comment, this is an interesting concept. Someone put it in the chat in a recent day, and it might have been you, it might have been someone else. This idea that the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, it may be attention itself, the awareness that's within, that sees it all, but it's before the labels, it's before the definitions, before everything. It's attention and the loving awareness of being. I'm pretty sure that is the Spirit. I've said that before. In my mind, the awareness of being in this present moment, the fact I know that I am, to me, that is evidence of God's presence, right? The idea that from the scripture, one of the identifications of God, I am that I am, right? I am. First person, present tense. God is also always the first person, present tense, whether you're talking about yourself or someone else. It's God in that agency. That's what conclusion I've come to, man.
What about the idea that there could be beings that are just NPCs, non-player characters, soulless clowns that aren't quite human? Do you think that's a possibility, that there might be beings walking around? I don't know, some of these characters might not even have a soul.
There's a life force within them. Well, golly geez, that idea of, it's kind of opposite of the previous thoughts I was thinking, because I'm thinking that the universe is conscious, that there's consciousness within everything, down to the smallest of energy. I think there's.
But some of these characters, there is this theory of non-player characters, NPCs, soulless beings. I just wonder if Timeless and some of these other characters here, John Wayne, I don't know, I shouldn't name names, but some of them could possibly potentially be something other than a conscious being. They could be a robot, a bot.
In my personal experience, I know there have been advances to AI and such. I lean towards, I assume the best. I assume that all that are tuned in, there might be a couple of chat bots, but I like to believe that there's children of God. Every human is a child of God, a potential for the light. And
you think so? Everyone?
I do.
Because
I'm
I don't know,
convinced.
the ones that focus on, like the ones that focus on me obsessively, they don't seem like legitimate beings. They just have so much obsessive focus, you know.
Well, two things. When we find these patterns, number one, look at yourself and ask, how am I like this? How am I like this? Might be just a small bit, but that's the idea. We want to take out the beams before we go to others. But the other part, I remind myself that I control no others. In my life, I started playing this idea in my head a long time ago. And keep in mind, yeah, maybe I did go insane, but I trust everything has been God's plans, right? And so in the past, I was alone. I was isolated. It was just me. I was completely rejected and nowhere to turn. So I started looking at life. Well, I'm still here. What are my assets? What is my qualities? Look at my skill set. Look at my resources, right? Just like a video game. And then I started thinking these ideas more and playing with the idea of, is this life a simulation, right? Did a higher intelligence create this experience for us to participate in? And maybe it's only real to us. So then I also carry those ideas into thoughts on God. Well, if God is everything, which I started playing with that possibility about the universal oneness of God and all being, and how that might be with me. Well, that means that God is within me, which I trust. I trust that God is with me and around me. To finally land it, sorry for going on so long, these other NPCs, yeah, I saw their mindlessness. I saw how they moved and reacted, responded without thinking. They just did. And so rather than seeing them as mindless NPC characters, I see God. So in this game of life, it's Jack and God. You are an aspect of God for me to understand and to care for and to figure out. I try to keep that in mind, but some people show me that, oh, maybe you're not right, Jack. Maybe God's not there.
So instead of them just being mindless NPCs, they're characters God's using in his plan. And some of them might appear to be ignorant clowns, but God's using them for a purpose. And we, even if we don't understand it at first, there's some purpose behind this. They aren't just, these, what did you call Lou earlier? An ignorant pig or something when he left, something like that. But I mean, God's using Lou somehow in his overall plan is how I'm understanding it now. Okay.
Yes. Because here's something I remind myself as well. Lou's actually, maybe I was a little hard. I'll probably reflect and I'll look back and I'll feel bad that I should have been nicer and kinder and gentler and more compassionate. And I know I should. So for the critics who are complaining about me, I heard you.
Well, to be fair, he is kind of a greasy pig at times, though. He does. He can come across that way.
Sometimes.
So sometimes he deserves it.
Well, where I was going with that, even some of the worst, right? And I'm not saying Tommy is the worst, but he's one of the most vocal and aggressive towards me. I know in other areas of his life, he's really appreciated and loved and respected. Same with Margot, Miss Margot. My experience with that person has not been very fulfilling, pleasant, or productive. But I know she's different with others. So that helps me too with the NPCs and with the idea of the mindless and the ignorant fools. And then I remind myself too, the words from Jesus. Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. And I've been insensitive and,
I have been at times too, I admit.
Right.
At times I've called them fucking idiots and peasants and stupid assholes and piss ants and zombies and whatnot. But like if they're part of God's plan, then God does have a purpose. He's using them for some reason. I think Tommy misunderstands me. He thinks I'm here ball washing, but I think he views anybody that agrees with you that way. Because I think Tommy's in his ego and he's saying, okay, Steven's agreeing with Jack today, so Steven's kissing up to Jack.
Yep.
And he's misunderstanding that I'm here trying to understand Jack, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what more people should be doing if they're tuned in. They shouldn't be hate watching. There's no point in hate watching. That's just
Thank you. I agree. Tommy clearly disagreed. He cammed up when you were talking. But I agree with you with what you're viewing. It from the appearance of the facts, Tommy seems to have a pattern of calling out people who support me, right? How dare you show encouragement to someone I oppose? Now you're an enemy of me too.
Yeah, it's silly.
Are you done making your assumptions, brother?
Well, for a moment.
The thing I take, listen, I don't care that Steven does the thing I see more plainly than you, Jack. But it's not saying
see
he's a
what?
ball
I'm
washer.
a good co-host.
It's not, hey, shut up. It's not
I'm a
saying
great
you're a ball
co-host.
washer for supporting him. It's
Don't
because
tell me to
you
shut
can Kanye, or who were you? You can Tupac on my panel and just go in on Jack, and then you'll come back here as
was
mystery guest
Tupac.
like Jack.
That
Lose
wasn't me. That
trying
was
to
Tupac.
make it about him, Jack. Do you see what he's doing? When actually that's what you do everywhere you go, Steven.
No,
So if
that
you
was
back the fuck
Tupac.
up, I'd take it up to Jack.
Hey, don't blame me for what Tupac did.
You see how he is, Jack, or do you?
See, this is why I actually agree with Tommy. He's calling out what's right.
Oh, come on.
But the other
Tupac is-
side of that, the other side
All right,
is you're making a big deal out of something I've gotten
up.
over already.
He's angry about
No,
that.
I'm ready to make the big deals out of the things you've
Tommy's
sat here and
angry.
said the whole time I've been in the backstage.
Tommy's angry. I don't know why he's so angry.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. And as a matter of fact, when Jack's like, Tom obviously doesn't care about me, I've got everybody in this panelverse saying, you care about Jack. You
All
love
right.
Jack.
Yes. Can you slow down, please? Please slow down. Because the care the care comes through a lot easier when we're slow.
I don't care. I don't care because for 3 years you got up. For 3 years. Okay, may I finish? Or do you want to just latch on to I don't care and say there you win? And then because you have an audience say I love you, Tom, because everybody's watching. Now listen. For 3 years, you have been appalled and been up our asses that we won't do anything to help you get to DC or get to your son. And now at the closest point you've ever been, you're just leaving it hanging. Just leaving it hanging and looping your first time weed smoking. And me and Margot joined forces to assist you. And you're acting like we're your biggest opposers. And maybe we are, because we see right through you and you're stupid. But we said, as soon as we get you over your delusion, then you can actually do something that you can achieve worthwhile. And if anything, you relate more to an NPC. Because NPCs, every time you walk up to them, they'll just loop the same dialogue. That's you. I'm busy, man. Wait, you need something?
Is
it an emergency?
You see the question there? Why should I listen to advice from the uncaring? Because, see, Tommy, your narrative is not accurate. And I don't feel like arguing. So that's a question I wrote down today. What benefit is advice from the uncaring? I don't feel I should listen. What are you bringing up, Stephen? Is this something I'm going to want?
Yeah, it's funny. It's just comedy. I think it will bring a smile to people's face, and Tommy kind of brought a lot of anger, so I just wanted to cheer people up a little bit on the yo, this be Black Jesus. I'm coming at you with a message here. I be turning watermelons into wine. I be performing miracles.
No. I don't appreciate it.
The audio went out for a second. Can you hear me now?
I put it to the back. I stopped playing the video. It's not something.
Oh, but you were speaking. I couldn't hear what you said. Now I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just comedy, just a bit of levity. It's parody. But there are Black people, Israelites, that do insist that Jesus is not white, and they don't like the white Jesus. And that brings up a real question here. Do you think it matters, race, in terms of Jesus Christ or spirit? I don't know why people in this realm are so hung up on race. Like, God doesn't have a race. Would you say that, Jack, or what would you say?
God is certainly beyond the divisions that man has chosen. And I'm trying to understand. What I'm guessing is because of your memories of Tommy and his behavior, I'm guessing you felt it was appropriate to bring that up as comedy. but you kind of, again, you misread me and what I want.
Well, I just wanted to use it as a diving board or platform to get into the race, like the spiritual topic of
Well,
God being beyond race. Jack, do you
mhm.
think that God is necessarily male or female, or do you think that God is beyond, let's say, race, gender,
Hey,
etc.?
Stephen,
Yeah.
there's a clear disconnect happening right here.
Okay.
And the fact you don't see it. I appreciate you. I don't want to turn into criticism or negativity, but I'm going to go ahead and I think it's time for me to continue. And I'll do some words and then we'll probably shut it down. There's to share the thoughts that are going on in my mind, what I'm observing is a pattern I've experienced with many others. And it's the pattern of the ego. It's a pattern of it's the pattern of one without clarity. Praise God. One who lacks understanding lacks clarity. And one that moves without understanding or clarity can be kind of clumsy. And I've been feeling kind of clumsy interactions and trying to figure out what's going on. But if you think about it, it's like a child, right? The ego within, regardless of the age of the man or woman, I'm talking about the ego, the patterns of people, regardless of the age, the ego is like an undeveloped child. It'll tell itself it's helping, right? You bring a kid, that's a fun part of the process of being a parent, right? Bring the kids in, and you help them cook, you help them do the carpentry, you help them fix a car, whatever. You bring them in, and you know it's not going to be productive, but they're helping, right? I found a lot of people who I will not deny, and I don't want to disrespect anyone. I'm tired of people disrespecting each other. I'm hoping that people can start seeing the patterns of themselves, though. What I found is some amazing people in my life who understand life in their way. They understand me in their way. And they think they want to help, and they do want to help, because I think helping a guy like me, no offense, I think it's a good idea, because I'm not in it for me. I'm in it to help others. I want to help people I haven't met. I want to help people I have met. I want to help the world become a better place. I want to introduce you and more others to our Father, the Father I've come to learn of through the light, the way, and the truth of Jesus. And that Father, the unified expression of truth that we all get to experience. We all get to experience the truth in our own little ways. Well, I present the case that the source of truth is God. There's an aspect of God within you. It's connected between your mind and your spirit, your energies. Through your energies of being, we talked about this earlier, from your energies of being, your mind tunes in like a receiver. If you're getting a bunch of negative ideas, a bunch of self-defeating thoughts, and you're feeling trapped and anxious, I've been there. I know exactly how that feels. If you find yourself in that place, the practice I've done for myself is to escape. Know you can escape. Know you can escape. Know that you can change your thoughts. Know that you can distract yourself away from the unpleasant into the pleasant until you're at a better energetic state, right? Don't ignore the problems. Don't deny the negativity. Don't selectively choose what you think and know. Accept what you think and know based off of the facts, off of the truth that God reveals to you. It's what I found for myself. It really, really works to be present, to be present, to be still, to rest in the moment and surrender. Surrender your will, surrender your life, surrender your future away and give it to God, please. Because God is love, man. And my life started improving internally. My mind, I walked away from the sleepless nights, and I walked away from the heartache and the anger and all of that stuff, the patterns of those things. I walked away from those with the Spirit of Christ. And the Spirit of Christ, the Spirit of love, it is there for you, for me to become. We talked about a lot today. I encourage you, I invite you. If you tuned in late, please check out the earlier thoughts in the beginning. We talked about a lot. Talked about bringing clarity into the world, clear intentions, overcoming confusion, moving beyond the world that's clouded by noise, distraction, and confusion, gaining peace with the clarity of your mind, your heart, your purpose, and your words. All it takes is attention. Thank you for sharing your attention with me. To all who did join the panel, join the stream, thank you sincerely. We'll find ways to better communicate. We will find ways to grow in our understandings together, and we'll see what the future brings. Once again, thank you again, sincerely. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless you and all.